We would ask that you would open the eyes of our understanding so we would receive the engrafted word, that it would be implanted in our soul so we can walk in a greater realm of victory. We may go through the test, but there is the moment, the testimony. We praise you and glorify you in Jesus' name. Depression. How many have heard the word depression? There are more people that go to the physician's office for depression than anything else. Anxiety, depression, it's a common problem. Depression, though, has a predictable problem. Depression, though, can be defeated by God's care. Therapists and psychologists can only help manage depression. The Word of God teaches us how to completely banish the problem. So you can manage or you can manage. And with God, it's 100% you can banish the problem and have the victory. Depression can be viewed from three different perspectives. It is a result of external pressures in our lives getting inside our hearts and weighing us down. It is stress and pressure internalized, something that you take and you can bring it, internalize, you can bury it. At which point we are constantly thinking about the issue. It is a feeling that comes from thinking thoughts that weigh us down. Scripture puts it this way: anxiety in a heart weighs a man down, but a good, encouraging word makes it glad. There's no more good, encouraging word than the Word of God. The Word of God will take you from faith to faith and victory to victory. It'll take you from anxiety, it'll take you to wholeness, it'll take you from anxiety, it'll bring you to peace. It's something we all face. I've heard somebody say one time, well, you're a Christian, you shouldn't be down. You shouldn't have anxiety. You shouldn't be worrying. Well, I'm telling you, that's a fallacy. Every individual in the Bible faced depression. And I'm going to read a few scriptures of biblical depression. Moses asked God to take his life because he was so burdened by the difficult situations he was in with the Israelites. David says, have mercy on me, O Lord, for I am in trouble. My eyes waste away with grief. Yes, my soul and body, for my life is spent with grief, and my years with sighing. My strength fails because of my iniquity, and my bones waste away. I am a reproach among all my enemies. Those who see me outside flee from me. I am forgotten like a dead man out of mind. I am like a broken vessel, for I hear the slander of many. People say words that bring depression in their eyes. David saw words, heard words that brought and slandered of those that slandered many. Fear is on every side. While he takes counsel together against me, they scheme to take my life. Job says, oh, that my grief were fully weighed, and my calamity laid with it on the scales. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words have been rash. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant me the thing that I want. Now listen, Job says, I want my request, and God would grant it to me. And here it is, that it would please God to crush me, that he would loose his hand and cut me off. I mean, Job was at a place of despair. David was at a place of despair. Jeremiah was at a place of despair. You can go on and on and on and on, and you can go from depression to despair to suicide, but I'm going to tell you what, everything starts. And you know, there's clinical depression, there's all kinds of depression, but I'm going to tell you what, heaviness in a heart makes it stupid. But the gospel makes it good. An encouraging word. So we're going to see this morning, realize something. Depression is a demonic spirit. For God hasn't given you a spirit of fear, but a power of love and a sound mind. He hasn't given you that spirit of fear. Hasn't given you a spirit of depression. When you're depressed, your fear is behind the motivating factor of fear. I'm going to take a text this morning out of 1 Kings 19 about Elijah. Elijah went through a spirit of fear. And fear has 4 stages, or it has a pattern. And if you look with me at 1 Kings 19, 1 and 2, it says, here it is, pattern 1, the activation. An event or situation that begins the cycle toward depression. An event. Here's the event that Elijah faced. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. Also how he had executed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. I mean, can you imagine Ahab tells Jezebel? Jezebel's so mad because here it is, Elijah showed his God, and his God showed up and killed 450 prophets of Baal. So then Ahab was so upset that he went and told Jezebel, and Jezebel was so upset that she took a contract on his life. So the first thing we said was the activation. Well, what was the activation? The activation was the message. The activation was the contract that Jezebel put out on Elijah's life. The activation was words. Words. Jezebel said words. You and I are going to face areas of our life where words are going to be spoken. Whether it be by people, whether it be by the enemy putting thoughts into our mind. Words are always going to come. They're out there. They're always going to come. But I'm going to tell you what, even Jesus, the Bible said in John chapter 13, it says, Judas put a thought in Jesus, or Satan put a thought in Judas's heart. And guess what? Judas acted. So the thought came in. The word came in through Satan. He sees it. The words are going to come into your mind, and they're going to try and seize you, and they're going to try to get you to act out actions that are contrary to God's word. So the first thing we say is activation. Jezebel said, you're going to be killed. The activation event for some of you in your own life, there may be causes, depression. There may be physical causes, pain. There may be relational causes. There may be broken trust of a person, negative comparisons between people. There may be situational causes, love or money, death, divorce, spiritual attack. There's many different events in our life that are activators. That is the first step of also bringing us to a place of depression. So Elijah is now listen to Elijah's life. Maybe some of you can bear with this. He's coming off one of the greatest victories that the Lord did through him. He prayed for rain when it hadn't rained in 3 years, and it rained. Then he outran King Ahab, who was on a horse in town about 30 miles away. Well, God was working powerfully through Elijah. One would think that no way this guy would be easily discouraged. He had done and seen the Lord do unbelievable things. And you see, my beloved, it says, stand, take stand in the day of the evil day. Just when you think you're on top of the mountain, there's valleys coming. Just when you think things are going so well, just like they did in Elijah's life, just all the things that were happening and what God was doing through him, the negative event will come in your life. You're either going through an event, coming into an event, or coming out of an event. You're either going into a trial, you're in the middle of a trial, or you're going to come out of a trial. That's life in a nutshell. And that's what happened with Elijah in this account. So the first thing we saw was the activation. The second thing we see here is the reaction. So when the depression comes, you have an opportunity of how you're going to react to that activation or that event. And in 1 Kings 19:3, it says, when he saw it, when he saw what? The message, the event, when he saw the contract that he was going to be killed. When he saw, he arose and ran for his life. Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. He lost his focus. He lost the Word of God. You and I are to look unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. But you see, he ran for his life. I'm telling you this, saints, you don't run from the problem, you run to Jesus Christ. I'll say this, David didn't run from Goliath, David ran toward Goliath. David realized something. He said, the God that's in me is bigger than the giant that's out there. And the depression that is out there, you're greater because greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. So when the depression comes, because the thought comes, because the activation becomes, because Satan or somebody's put a death sentence out on you through your thought realm, all of a sudden you're either going to react in the negative or you're going to run to God and say, greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. Can you say amen? So here it is. He ran for his life. James 5:17 says, Elijah was a man with a nature like me, and he prayed earnestly that it would not rain. And it did not rain in the land for 3 years and 6 months. He was a man. He's a man like you and me. He has passions like you and me. He goes through events like you and me. He has ups like you and me. He has downs like you and me. We all go through it. Elijah is an example of what you and I have gone through, are going through, or are coming out of. The second thing we saw, the activation, the reaction. The third thing, the isolation. If there's anything depression brings greater in an individual's life, is isolation. Verse 4. And when he saw that, he arose and ran for his life, and went to Beersheba. Beersheba is the desert, so I want to read it this way. And when he saw that, he arose and ran for his life and went to the desert, which belongs to Judah. Now listen to me. Judah means praise. So he went the opposite direction. He went to the desert. He went to the place where it was barren. He went to the place where there was nothing but dust and sand. He went to the place, exit stage left, and that actual place where he went through belonged to praise, Judah. And see, instead of running and praising God in the midst of that sentence that Jezebel had on him, he all of a sudden says, hey, exit stage right, I'm out of here. And so, and left his servant there. That's key. I'm going to read it again. And when he saw the message, he arose, ran for his life, went to the desert which belongs to Judah. Now catch this. And he left his servant there. Well, why did he leave his servant there? Because when you become depressed, you want to become isolated. You don't want your friends near you. You're by yourself. You're having a pity party. And you're coming to a place. Hey, if you have a pity party, you won't have a power party. And when you have a power party, you come through things, and you're a winner and not a whiner. But you see, if we come to a place where we're pitiful, we'll never be powerful. And that is what happened here. He says, I'm going to leave my servant here. Catch this. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree, got all by himself. I don't want anybody. And he prayed that he might die. It is enough. Now, Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers. He came to a place, look, Lord, take my life. And he had suicidal thoughts. You can get to such a place in depression where you start thinking, why do you live? And thoughts start coming. I knew an individual that was in so much physical pain that he took medication. And he had such side effects from the medication that they would cause the pain. So the pain was causing the thoughts, and the thoughts were causing the pain, and the side effects were causing the thoughts. And he just said to me one day, he says, hey, look, will God forgive me if I shoot myself? Why? He couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take the pain. He couldn't take the depression. He couldn't take it. One was feeding the other. And so he was hopeless. Sometimes an individual who has no word, who doesn't run to God, who has no hope and is hopeless comes to a place where they don't even want to live anymore. Did you ever know anybody like that? You can give them hope. If there's anybody in here today, you have hope. Hope is the anchor of your soul. Jesus is the hope of your life. Jesus will see you through even when you can't see the way through. He's above and not beneath. I mean, He is the anchor of our soul. So he prayed that he might die. Take my life. Elijah isolated himself from those closest to him, not wanting to hang out. Think of this, depression. Sometimes you don't want to hang out with Christian friends. You won't even respond to phone calls from friends. So we saw something here. Activation. How he reacted. How he isolated himself. The fourth step I want to tell you about is destruction. Because if you allow it to activate, if you allow it to come to a place where you react negatively, it'll come to a place where you're isolated, and then you'll come to a place of destruction. You see, it's not what happens to you. It's how you respond to what happens to you. Because if you respond to the word, you'll overcome the depression. The destruction. 1 Kings 19, 4 and 5 says, he came and sat down under a broom tree, and he prayed he might die and said, it is enough. Now, Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my father's slaves. And as he lay and slept under a broom tree, suddenly an angel touched him and said to him, arise and eat. So all of a sudden, here he is. How many of you know that when you're depressed, you don't want to do anything? You may be excessively tired. You just don't want to think about anything. You'll just sleep, lay there. I'm not going anywhere. Life is worthless. So, you may have suicidal tendencies. You may have excessive tiredness. You may retreat from wanting to do things you like to do. You may just retreat from people. There's a lot of different symptoms of why depression happens. But I'm going to show you how to overcome the depression. You see, you can take Paxil, clonazepam. And like I said, the therapists and psychologists manage the problem. But the Word of God banishes the problem. So if you're here and you're taking medication, okay, stay on it. Do what your doctor says. But in the meantime, deal with the root. And as you get the Word of God in you, which is God's medicine, I believe eventually you now come to a place where you manage the problem. And you may even come to a place where you may never even need the medication again. But you see, you need God. Thank God for doctors. Thank God for medication. But let's go from management to management. 1 Kings 19:10 says, so he said, I have been very zealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophet with the sword. I alone am left, and they seek to take my life. So what do you see here? We saw suicidal tendencies. We saw excessive tiredness. We saw isolation. Here you're seeing feelings of rejection. He said, look, Lord, I'm zealous for you. Look, Lord, they've forsaken you. They've torn down your altars. I am alone. I alone am left. And they seek to take my life. How many of you know he felt alone, but he wasn't alone? How many know God will never leave you nor forsake you, even in the ends of the ages? I have to read this out of Hebrews 13:5. If you're taking notes, you can write it down. But listen to this. He'll never leave you or forsake you. I will not leave you in any way, fail you, nor give you up, nor leave you without support. I will not, and I will not in any degree leave you helpless and forsaken you. Assuredly not. So we may take comfort and are encouraged and confidently and boldly say, confidently say, encouraged to say. Why could they be encouraged to say, the Lord is my helper? I will not be seized with alarm. I will not fear or dread or be terrified. What could man do to me? If anything, he'll never leave you, forsake you. He'll never, you can be confident. You can be bold. Even though it's coming against you one way, it's going to flee seven. So here he faced in 1 Kings 19:10. He faced rejection. He said he was alone. But I want to show you how God dealt with Elijah's rejection, depression. In answer to Elijah's prayer to die, God just let him sleep. I want you to know God's angel fed him and let him sleep some more. I want you to know in that time God doesn't say a word. God doesn't offer any counsel. God doesn't set Elijah down and have a face-to-face talk with him. Come on, Elijah, get up. Get going. God Almighty. In that time, Elijah is left alone. Elijah's given time to rest and to think. No long counseling sessions, just love and rest. You don't need somebody at a time you're going through depression to give you a counseling session to tell you what to do. Let me tell you what those are. And those are, Job says, those are words to the wind. It's like this. Somebody passes away, and you go up to them and say, you know what? They're in heaven. And you get, they're in heaven. I'm mourning. I'm grieving to them. But that was, to me, that's like words to the wind. All they weep with those who weep. Weep, and for a moment, joy comes in the morning. All they need is comfort. They don't need words while they're going to be in heaven. Job said they're words to the wind. We need to be sensitive to a point where we don't have to say a word in order to minister to somebody. We can go up to somebody, hug them, and say, hey, look, I love you. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. And you know what? That speaks volumes. That'll speak volumes. And that's what God did here. He let him sleep. And then he fed him to give him strength. And he just let him rest. The first thing, if you look at verse 8 of 1:19, says, so he got up and ate and drank, and with the strength of that food he traveled 40 days and nights to Horeb, the mountain of God. Think about that. The mountain of God. The mount of God where the law given to Moses. Then he came to a cave and spent the night in it. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said to him, what are you doing here? Now I want you to see the first point is God sent him to church. Well, what are you saying? Well, look, he traveled 40 nights and 40 days to the mountain of God. To the place where God is, where the law was given. Guess what? Moses went to the Mount of God where the law was given, and when he came down, his face shone with radiance. When you get into the presence of the Lord, I'm going to tell you what, time with God is the greatest antidepressant you can ever have. So here he is at Mount Horeb with God because God sent him there. And he said, what are you doing, Elijah? Let me give you an illustration. Back in 1999, Duke University conducted a study of nearly 4,000 older adults. One of their conclusions, attendance at the house of worship is related to lower rates of depression and anxiety. But church doesn't stop with being in a house of worship. Time alone with God is a powerful antidepressant. Verse 9. When he said, what are you doing, Elijah? He went into the cave and spent the night in that place, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and said to him,
"What are you doing, Elijah?" So he said, "I have been very zealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant." Again, torn down your altars, killed the prophets. I am left alone, and they seek my life. Now here's the key. God said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" God had Elijah tell him his problem. Now you saw that the second time you read, but God was getting him to tell him the problem so he could give him the answer. You see, we can come to a place, and even in Jeremiah, Lamentations was saying things that kill me, crush me. But that we need to vent that towards God and say, "God, this is what I feel like. I'm alone. I'm isolated. I have suicidal tendencies." Well, God was bringing him to the house of God in Mount Moab, and he says, "What are you doing here?" He brought him there, and that's when he said, "Look, take my life. They've killed the prophets." The second thing, verse 13 and 14. When Elijah heard the sound, he wrapped his face in his mantle. Now, mantle, when you wrap your face, this he did to signify his reverence. For covering the face was a token of respect. So he went out and stood in the entrance of the cave. And behold, a voice came to him and said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Here it is again. He said, "I have been very zealous, and because the sons of God have abandoned your covenant, I am left here alone." And there it is, what Elijah needed to vocalize what was wrong in his life. You and I need to vocalize. You shouldn't bury it, because when you bury it, there's something alive down there. You should vocalize it. You should yell it out. Hey, the Lord doesn't care if you scream. The Lord doesn't care if you get mad. When you do that, he realizes something. You're coming to him because he loves you. He's not mad at you. Come running to the cross, the throne room of grace, that he may find mercy and grace and time of need. So Elijah vocalized it. Elijah didn't think that God was doing anything. How many ever felt that God wasn't doing anything? Third, God dealt with the false beliefs. Now here's the key. He dealt with the false beliefs because the false ideas were fueling Elijah's depression. Depression comes from faulty thinking. When we're thinking correctly, trouble does not have power to make us glory. Elijah was depressed because he felt rejected. He felt God forsaken. But I'm going to tell you what, beloved. It says in 3 John 2, "I pray above all things." When he says all, he means all. Now listen. "That you may prosper and be in health as your soul prospers." Well, I'm going to prosper. I'm going to have wholeness. I'm going to have peace because my soul is prospering. My thoughts are coming to a place where they're lining up with God's thoughts. The depression is leaving because my faulty thinking is becoming God's thinking. You are now more and more, when you spend time with God, receiving the antidepressant. His thoughts are becoming your thoughts. Your thoughts are becoming his thoughts. And as your thoughts become his thoughts, you take on the mind of Christ. When you take on the mind and the words of Christ, they overpower any depression that'll try to come against you in your life. So God corrects Elijah's thinking. He tells Elijah, "You're not the only one left." See, he's changing his faulty thinking because he thought he was alone. And so God, here it is, 1 Kings 19:18. "Yet I will leave 7,000 in Israel, all the knees that have not bowed down to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." You see, he told him, Elijah, you're not alone. You're not going to die. They're not going to leave you. I've left 7,000 behind. I've given you an army. So God got Elijah back there, and you need to realize then after he realized, that point, he realized something. Now I'm not depressed. I got an army. I got people with me. I have God with me.
And now God gave you something to do. You see, depression in your life will get you to a point where you're lethargic. You have apathy. You don't want to do anything. When God deals with your faulty thinking, you jump up. You jump up with a jump in your step, and guess what? God gave him a plan. And he likes going out and fulfill the plan in his life. Finally, my brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, pure, lovely, whatever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue and there be any praise, here it is. Think on these things. Those things which you have learned and received and heard and seen in me do. You see, our thought lives are extremely important. They determine what kind of a person you are. Depression is a way of thinking. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. You know, you matter to God. We can change our way of thinking by taking authority over worry and anxiety. And when we take authority over our worry and anxiety, we overcome depression. You matter to God. Why? Because he died for you. 1 Corinthians 6:20 says, you were bought with a price. You are God's. No matter what you're going through right now, you are God's. You're still a child of God. We're going to sing a song in closing this morning. It's by Casting Crown. It's called Who Am I? And as we sing that song, I'd like to play it. Listen to the words. Worship the Lord and thank him for who you are. You are his. You've been bought with a price. Even when we can't feel God, if you want to come forward and pray, great. If you want to just worship God in your seats, great. Whatever you do as an individual, I'm here to say, if you're facing depression, lay it at the cross. Worship God. Who am I? Let the Lord